Hi there, my name is Janet Prop Morgan. I'm a mom of 8 and I'm a children's book illustrator and author. And I love to get on here on YouTube and talk about children's books. I love to talk about the illustrations in particular because that's sort of my lane. And I also love to talk about like what I like in the books, what my children like in the books, why I recommend certain books, and just share with other people who are in the stage of their life where this is what they're interested in. Maybe they're building a library for their kids, maybe they are just art lovers and appreciate the visual storytelling excuse me, aspect of children's literature. So today's theme, because I have been trying to theme these, is books for the very young. And by very young, I mean anywhere from infants who are just getting big enough to sit in your lap through probably about 2 or 3 years old. A few of these books could be read to older children, but I think that they are particularly good for this age. So the first one that I'm going to hold up here is called Ice Cream Face. We got this book through the Dolly Parton Library, which is a program that I have mentioned before. It's where you can get, it's sort of a monthly book club for children where from newborn to 5 years old, they get a book every month. And it's available in a lot of states. Anyway, this one, Ice Cream Face, is kind of reminiscent to me of, what's that book called? Snowy Day. It has the same kind of paper cut type illustrations. Our copy is a little beat up, but it is fun right from the end papers. My kids like to look at those end papers and choose which ice cream face they like best. And then also, the story is just not very long. It has these fun illustrations. The little boy is excited to choose his ice cream. He talks about what kind of ice cream he might like. He has to wait in line. It's just this very simple little story. In the end, after waiting all that time, he loses his cone. It's so sad. But then all the other people who were there share ice cream and get him new ice cream. And he's just very happy in the end. So it's this very sweet sharing type story. But it also, the illustrations, I think, as usual, I'm always keyed in on those illustrations, are what make this one special. Yes, you can hear my children in the background. What else is new? Okay, we're going to continue on. This one in particular I picked because my kids ask for this one. My daughter, Freya, she really loved this one, especially when she was little. She would pick this book out specifically and ask for it every time. And so I know like that is number one what makes a book a winner for me. If the kids come back and they ask again and again, and they want to look at those pictures again and again, they want to hear the story, I really don't feel like you can have a higher recommendation. Like, seriously, when someone tells me, like, your book was my kid's favorite, they ask for it all the time, you cannot give me higher praise than that. And I feel the same way about books that I recommend to others. If your kids are asking for it again and again, there's a reason for that. Anyway, I spent enough time on Ice Cream Face. I'm going to continue on with the next book. And that is one I really love. It's called Baby Loves. And this book was put out by the Metropolitan Museum of Art, it says. And it is all the illustrations, well, not all of them, but they are all illustrations by Mary Cassatt, who was a famous artist. I'm trying to think of what years she would have been painting. Probably the late 1800s, early 1900s. I might have that wrong. But she was one of the first Impressionist women who really gained a lot of traction. Her pictures are beautiful. If you've never seen her art, I mean, hands down, just lovely. She captures a lot of the real, like, sweet feeling between mothers and babies. She often shows the mothers caring for their children, enjoying everyday life with them. And I think that this book is so sweet because it's just a simple, like, word book, essentially. It has words like baby reads, baby claps. It does rhyme, which is a plus. As you read this book, it rhymes all the way through. Not, what's the word I'm looking for? Every page doesn't rhyme, but as you read the whole thing, it does. And the parent is enjoying these sweet illustrations with their child, but that I think exposing your kids to great art in a way that isn't overt, but just is part of their life is such a great idea. The earlier you can expose them to beauty and the more beauty. Look at this picture. This is one of my very favorites. I wish I had this one framed. Maybe one day I'll get this one framed and hang it in my room. I think it just captures the tenderness of motherhood and like caring for your children, maybe fresh out of a bath, and the way that they just love you. Ah. Art should make you feel something. And I love that the end of this book has like kind of a little bibliography, if you want to call it that, of what all the paintings are called, when they were painted, and a little bit more about Mary Cassatt. I feel like this is a really unique book. I found it at a Goodwill, but somebody had gifted it, and we re-gifted it to our daughter Gemma when she was younger. But we've read this one many times. It's very sweet, it's a quick read, and then just beautiful. Another good book that we have read many times, and another one that we got through the Dolly Parton Library, is Little Poems for Tiny Ears. I love this book. It's so sweet to read. All of the poems are excellent. They really read aloud well. I'll try to find one that would be good to just read quickly. Watch me scoot across the floor. I'm heading for the kitchen drawer to knock the pots and pans around and throw the dish towels on the ground. I rattle pans and bang the pots and make some noise. Well, okay, lots. The kitchen echoes with the sound till Mommy laughs and says, "Pipe down." She puts the pots and lids away, but I'll be back another day. And just, it's all about like baby life. Anything from my car seat to dogs and cats and just the things that a baby might observe. My nose. And they, of course, are the beautiful illustrations by Tommie dePaola. I think is that how you say his name? Anyway, he was a very prolific artist. He had this very distinct style. I am very inspired by his work. I don't have a similar style mostly, but there are certain things that he does with his painting technique that I just love, and I feel like any good artist could learn from. Very beautiful work. Very fun to look at with a child. They seemed very drawn to his art. Oh, this is another good one. My daddy's beard. My daddy's beard is really weird. It scratches when you rub it, but when he snuggles up to me, oh man, I really love it. And there's other sweet ones about bath time. For some reason, this is just one that we go to again and again. You can see how beat up it is. It's got tape on the edge. I actually found a really nice hardcover edition of this that I bought thinking that I would replace it, but then I ended up giving it as a baby shower gift because I was like, this is great. This one's still holding together, and I wanted to give it as that gift because I thought it was such a good book. I'll have to keep an eye open for another one. So I usually do 3, but I actually had a few others because I feel like these go kind of quickly that I did want to mention. Okay, I will put a better picture because this is literally falling apart. It's been around since probably our first 1 or 2 children, and of course it's been read so many times, but it's Brown Bear is the name. I'll try to insert a better picture of the cover of this book. There's 2 reasons I like this book for very little children. I think it's great for teaching both animals and colors. And you don't have to sit and be like, say black, say red, say green. You just read the book and they pick it up. They're picking up their colors, they're picking up different kinds of animals. It is a simple rhyme and it's very easy to read through quickly if you want to just sit down and have a moment with your child where you are reading to them. I like in the ending, this is an older book, and I have sometimes heard people talk about how older books don't really include, you know, all the colors of the world in them. I find that you can find them. You can find the quality of an older book, and it's always a joy to be able to have, you know, red and yellow, black and white, and have where your children can see children who look like them and children who look like other places in the world, or, you know, their neighbor down the street who doesn't look like them. I love that representation there. What a beautiful picture. Now, I heard it really recently, I heard criticism over the Eric Carle books, that they were too simplistic and that they didn't have enough quality. I don't agree for 2 reasons. One, I think that you are learning like about colors, like I said, and animals for very young children in a way that's enjoyable. And 2, look at the texture of these pictures. they're paper cut illustrations where he did collages, but he also used pencil and probably crayon from what I can tell. The texture on all of these illustrations is really a beautiful thing to look at. And these books have stood the test of time. They have been favorites with children for, I want to say, maybe close to 50 years now. I would have to check those publication dates. Obviously, this one doesn't have the publication dates in it anymore. It doesn't even have the first 2 or 3 pages. But I think that they are beautiful. They're not detail-oriented in the way that some of these other books might be. But like, that's the beauty of art. It's so different from artist to artist. And there can be value found in lots of different styles. I really do think that's a good first book for little ones. Especially if you can get it as a board book. What a great thing to be able to hand them and let them look at it and enjoy. And then a final thing to mention are these cozy classics. Their illustrations are felted, and they're all classic stories that look like, I don't know, stuffed animals, and they have 1 word per page. So you can have the story of Moby Dick, which is one of the most dense classics, one of the very few classics that I've attempted that I could not get through, actually. But you can still have like the whole story in like 7 words, I think maybe 10 words. And they're just great to look at. They have lots of these. I think they had Pride and Prejudice, Moby Dick, Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer. Here's the Nutcracker, which we got for a Christmas gift a few years ago. There's the Mouse King in the background. Let me find some more. Look at that. Beautiful. Children really seem to like these, and they're a fun like introduction to the classics. And if you know somebody who's into the classics and has children, they can be kind of a fun gift to give, just as sort of a wink to the parents' preferences, the parents' hobby, whatever you want to call that. So I feel like I'm getting very rambly. I really enjoyed this one. One of the comments on one of my last videos mentioned maybe doing some books by age category. And I will probably do some more for very young children and maybe other ones, other age categories. But I also think that maybe I'll try to incorporate just mentioning what age group the book is good for, even on mixed videos where maybe I have a wide range. So before I close out, I see I've kind of been on here a while. I did want to show you guys that the hardback for my new book came in last week. And it is so beautiful. It turned out so good. This is the best experience I've ever had with seeing the hard copy of any of my books. Sometimes you get them and there's like something wrong, or they're not as pretty as you hoped, but I mean, just look how gorgeous. And the paper quality is so much better. Let me show you some of the spreads in this. I feel like there's a shine on it. I'm so pleased. I feel like the quality and the detail, even like my end papers that I put in, look really good. Let me show you my favorite spread in the whole thing. I have a few that are just really some of my favorites. This one here. But anyway, I did also want to show a size comparison. This is what the paperback is going to look like. Of course, it will not have the not for resale band around it. And here they are, size comparison. The hardback is a special edition. It is larger. It has the pink on the side, whereas the soft cover is just white on the side. The backs are pretty much identical. This is obviously hardback, and also the interior paper quality is a lot better. And I would say the color is slightly better quality. This will hold up probably longer than this one. The price difference is going to be, this one's going to be nearly twice what this one is, which I think is pretty fair and pretty normal. I'm really trying to keep them priced reasonably, but I will say that like printing costs are high. So I just wanted to be able to have that range of product this time, and I'm like super excited about it. I've never had multiple editions other than like a digital and paperback coming out at the same time. So that is just, oh, I'm so excited. I'd love to do, I think maybe I will do a video that's a little shorter that just kind of, maybe I'll do a read aloud. What do you guys think about that? I could do like that for release week, which by the way is next week. And I'll be posting about that on Instagram, and I will probably be posting a release week video about my book. So I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.